I think I'm live. I've been live for 13 seconds here, staring at the thing here. So, welcome everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Just trying to get everything set up here. Hope everyone's doing well. Expecting my good friends Rob from Northern Revolutions and Sam St. John and Jack Gopp. Jack's joining us tonight too. Very cool. Loved having Jack on last week. We're just going to have an open forum tonight, talk some music, and that's it. One person watching. Hello. Hey, Jack, the music guy. Jack, I sent you a link on your email. Check for it. If you don't have it, let me know. Good evening. Cardboard head guy. He's like first in line, man. I love that. Good evening, Glenn. Good evening, Jerome. Hey, cardboard head guy, where are you? Where do you live? I don't need your address. Just like roughly. Be interesting to know where you're from. Or we already asked that question. So lots of stuff going on today. I think we'll probably talk a little bit about. Okay, I'll put it up, Jack. It should be there. Here it comes. Click on there, buddy. Okay, that's rough. Cardboard head guys in the USA. That narrows it down. That narrows it down to 300 million people. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm dying to get somebody up here to talk to me about is how they feel about this. I am a little uncomfortable with it, but we'll see. I'm not sure. There he is.
Hey.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
That's good. Thanks for coming on board.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join.
No problem. It's just you and me. What's going on in Jack World?
I started the Clash. That's what the band.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you dig into?
So far I listened to everything except for their until their triple album. Because I don't know.
Oh yeah, I really like the triple album. It's really all over the place. It's a mix.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah, it's like I said, I consider it their white album. It's like just a mess of stuff, but it seems to work.
Hey.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. Are you liking them?
So far I don't really like Joe Strummer's voice.
Really? Sam's the same way.
It sounds like too like raw or something.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, some songs though. London Calling, that's a pretty good song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the roughness in his voice. Like I'm really into all his solo stuff more than the Clash stuff.
Yeah, I want to try his solo stuff after.
Yeah, the stuff with the Mescaleros. Check that out.
All right.
Yeah, and there's lots of documentaries and stuff on them. They're pretty interesting story.
Hey.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, and what else? Anything else?
Oh yeah, I started Sting's solo career because of that video you did.
You were trying to do what? I'm sorry.
Sting's solo career.
Yeah. Are you checking that out?
Yeah, that video you did. I checked it out.
It's a little different than the police stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it though. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, we've got another friend here.
Hey.
Rob's up and raring to go.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Cool. Good. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
I don't know.
How you doing, Jack?
Joining us tonight or not? He said he was coming on board, but
you said he was.
He's fashionably late, I guess.
As usual.
Yeah. Oh, here he is now.
Whoa, get his hair done. Oh, look at him.
Hey.
Look how good he looks.
We got 4 for Canasta.
4 for Canasta. How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, I suppose.
That's good.
Yeah, I figured I'd give you all a treat and show up tonight.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're you've got a vendetta against me, Glenn. You have people at my house knocking on my door, leaving horse heads in my bed.
Yeah. The horse head. How did that go over?
It's all right. I was never a fan of horses anyway.
Okay. All right. Good.
How
I
are you,
couldn't find
Zach?
a horse.
Nice to meet you,
I
my
used a
friend.
Pretty good.
donkey. I used a donkey's head. I couldn't find a horse.
What are you saying? Are you calling me something there?
Yeah. I thought I'd leave an ass in your bed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
And not mine.
God, I hope not.
Oh man, everybody doing okay? What have we been up to? Somebody tell me they got something interesting.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. Thankfully, on Saturday, I leave for Tennessee.
Ooh, whereabouts?
Pigeon Forge area. We're doing the big, Dollywood and all that stuff.
Oh, Dollywood. Have you been there before?
Yeah, we've gone the last 2 years, and I've been a couple other times as well. My whole extended family goes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of music there, or is it just an amusement park?
Not really in that area. No, it's a lot of it's a tourist trap. And people call it they call it the Myrtle Beach of the Smokies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot of everything that you do there. It's $25 a pop for anything that you do.
Oh my God! Is it actually a town, or is there a town that's?
Yeah, so you have Pigeon Forge and Sevierville are the two towns on the main drag. There's a historic part of Sevierville that's off the main drag. That's where Dolly Parton's from. And then you go about 10 miles down the road to Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
And then that's another big tourist area as well with all
I've heard
sorts
of Gatlinburg before.
Yeah, it's all on the same strip. It's I think it's about probably an hour from Rod, the Happy Hippie. He's in Hendersonville, I think, in Eastern Tennessee.
Oh, very cool. That should be fun.
So I'll be gone for a week. So I won't be here next week, but
Oh, that's too bad because I want to have my birthday party next Wednesday.
You can still have a birthday party. I mean, I know I bring that extra pizzazz.
My 70th birthday on the 23rd, so that'll be the 21st. That's the closest I can get because after that, my daughters are here and everything, so I'm going to be busy.
My dad turns 60 tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yep, so y'all are almost exactly 10 years apart.
Wow. 2 years.
10.
You need to go back to school and do some math. Forget about Dollywood.
I said 10. I think it was your ears that were the issue there, Glenn.
Okay, so here's the thing I want to talk about first. What are you guys thinking about this?
Love it.
Really?
Yep. Love it.
I think the way that it's being worded, I think is giving it a false advertisement for what it actually is. They're saying AI. I think that's just they're using a very broad term for essentially doing what they did when Paul McCartney sang with John Lennon on that last tour.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not fake John Lennon. It's John Lennon that they're isolating from this really crappy demo.
All right. Yeah. So hopefully they fix it up and it's good. It's too bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad they can't come up with a rocker. Everything's kind of the same. Free as a bird.
Real love.
It's the same. It almost sounds the same when I hear the demo of it.
But you're still getting a new Beatles song.
Yeah.
So,
the big question is though, will there be? I mean, what are they going to incorporate from the anthology sessions, and then is Paul McCartney going to add his 80-year-old vocals to it?
No, from what I understand from Paul, he's doing the vocal, and then they've got a way of making him sound like he's 20.
Is that what they're doing?
That's what I heard. I heard him say that in the radio interview. They're going to make him sound like a young Paul, so he's the same age as John.
I didn't hear that.
And
I'm all for it.
And then no George. What are they doing for guitar? For George, it's not really the Beatles.
Didn't they worked on the song a little bit during anthology, and George was kind of
it's the same one that they scrapped that was supposed to be on Anthology 3.
Oh, okay.
George,
there is a George part that they could incorporate.
Yeah. Harrison pissed all over it and said, no, we're not going to release it when they did Anthology 3. That's why there was no new song.
Okay. All right.
But they essentially said,
let's wait and see.
Do any of you all follow Matthew Turnage, his channel?
I'm aware of it, but I don't really know.
He's a good guy. We did a Bob Dylan video once, but he put out his video today talking about it. He's predominantly a Beatles channel, and he was kind of saying, he's hoping that Paul took the same courtesy that he did with Yoko during the anthology sessions, where he went to Olivia and was kind of like, "Hey, I've got this song that I've been wanting to record for the last 20 years," because he's been talking about it for a long time. And he's like, hopefully he went to Olivia and said, "I've got this song. I want your blessing," because George essentially gave Olivia, the blessing for the Beatles related releases when he was dying. So I don't know, and he would have had to go through Sean, I guess, for the other
camp. I'm sure. Yeah. We'll see. Time will tell. I just don't want it to be too doctored up.
I don't want it to be too doctored, because I don't want it to be like the Beck thing. I think you were the one talking about that earlier, Glenn. Like on a few
about the what?
Like that Beck video that came out where he was doing the Paul McCartney song with fake, like deep fake Paul McCartney for that reimagined McCartney 3 album.
No, if it is really just phony to make it sound like the Beatles, and
that, if it's like that, if what you're telling me, but if it's 20-year-old Paul McCartney, that's going to be a little bit different.
Well, 20. I picked the year 20. I just meant a younger Paul McCartney. It's not they can do something with his voice so he doesn't sound like he's 80.
I would either rather have it be some vocals from 95 during the anthology, or I would be okay with him being 80-year-old, because I loved when he sang with John Lennon with 80-year-old Paul and 29-year-old John Lennon. I love that, and I would be okay with that a lot more than again, like you said, even if they took Paul's voice and made it sound like 1995 with new vocals, I wouldn't really be behind that too much.
And they're going to have George playing the slide. It's going to be slide guitar. Like George was just so into that slide sound that he developed at that time, but it really wasn't a Beatles sound until the end. I wish he would just play his like a regular guitar part. That's going to be impossible to do any of that. And I don't know what Ringo's got to do with it. Like, are they just pretending? Like, are they just making up a drum part?
No, I don't think so. I think they're all involved.
Yeah,
they must be.
Yeah, okay. And like I said, there was recording for it, almost 30 years ago.
There is so much news about it. I can't believe it's all over CNN and MSNBC and all the newspapers. Like, it's a huge story.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as like finding a new Da Vinci. Like there's we found this Da Vinci in this garage, like this new Picasso. It's the same kind of thing, because that's modern. I mean, the Beatles are modern art.
Yeah. But how many other demos are there then? Like, it could. I just don't want it to get to a point where, say, Paul McCartney's got some songs he was working on in 1970 that he never used in his solo career, but he was still kind of a Beatle. So now they're gonna, make up a John Lennon voice and start making albums and shit.
I don't think they will, because
that would kill me.
John recorded this song with the intent of working on it with Paul at some point, because it was on a cassette tape that Yoko found, and it said "for Paul" was what John had written on the tape. So it was John's intention that at some point, he didn't expect that he was obviously going to be murdered, but so I'm all right with it.
Well, I'm kind of all right with it. A little nervous. I'll call myself nervous.
I'm excited from the standpoint that you're the only one of the four of us that was old enough to see the Beatles when they were the Beatles, and Sam was barely old enough to remember when the anthologies came out.
I don't remember it.
All right. Well, there you go.
I was 1 when it came out. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. I was a teenager when the anthologies came out. So for me, Real Love and Free as a Bird, those are important songs for me, because for me, that was the first time that I got to experience new Beatles music as it was made. Right. So this just kind of maybe gets another generation the opportunity to do that. And also for me, it's it's the third time I've got to experience a truly new Beatles song. So
they're also kind of teasing that this could be the pre, like, I guess, like the trailer, as it were, for whatever this new Peter Jackson film is going to be, and like accompanying it, whether they're going to reissue anthologies remixed, or if they're going to finally if they're going to release this as a 45 and in addition to a new film. So there's this is not the end of what's about to come, I don't think, for the second half of the year.
Boy, anthology and Blu-ray would be like a dream come true. With extras, like make it
They could update it with John and Ringo. I mean, Paul and Ringo now. Talking about maybe the process of recording those songs.
Yeah.
And Jeff Lynne, because those three players are still alive.
Yeah. Well, give me anything Beatle. It's
there's still more in the vault. There's still more stuff that we've seen on bootlegs that's never been put out. So,
well, we don't want Carnival of Light.
No.
Jack, what do you think? Being the youngin in the I was the youngin, but you took my place.
I hope they do it good. Honestly, let's not just throw it out there.
Yeah, have you been reading up about this thing, or are you aware of it, Jack? Or
I wasn't aware of it until you said it, and then
okay.
I saw
over the news, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Look it up. It's pretty interesting. Hopefully, it'll be good.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And other news, I'm trying to pull the Paul McCartney Get Back beard. I'm trying to see what'll happen.
Oh, there we go.
If I grow this out.
Do we really need? Yes, we could use another.
Yeah.
We could always. The world could always use another Beatles song. Sounds like Jerome's not a Beatles fan.
No, what would be a dream, and I know definitely Rob would agree, if they released that full cafeteria session of John and Paul. Could you imagine that, on a CD?
My God, yes.
Conversation, yeah.
Just 30 minutes of them talking about strain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it bug you when only you like a band and can't convince others to like it? Larry? No, because I like so much weird crap that if I was talking about Fleetwood Mac or the Beatles or something like that, I think it bugs me a little bit when people don't, appreciate greatness in that way. But if it's something quirky, like I'm really into that Jack Vile or Kurt Vile album that came out last year, and Larry couldn't stand it. I thought he liked it. But no, I can't. Hey, Jack, just watched your running video.
Oh, thanks.
What did you do?
There was a thread that MGK did.
I haven't done
songs with Run in them.
What songs did you use?
I did the Pink Floyd, The Wall, the Running the Mill or something like that.
Run Like
George
Hell.
Harrison. Yeah.
Run Like Hell.
And then I used a Brian Wilson song. And then I can't remember the last one I used.
Let Sam guess what Brian Wilson song has Running in it. He's the Beach Boys guy.
It's from 2015.
Oh, it's from the No Peer Pressure album?
Yeah.
He stumped him on a Stumpus.
Runaway Dancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
look
That's
at
the one I
that.
used.
Yeah, that's track 2 on that album. Yeah.
Yep.
The pressure was on and he pulled it out.
See, I've been gone for 2 weeks. I've cleared myself. I'm ready to go here.
Hey.
Speaking of music that people hated, Glenn, I bought this the other day.
That's a
Barnes
great
and Noble.
album.
I love it. I just listened to it before the stream. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they all hated it when I
I
showed
haven't
it.
listened to the live yet, but the studio, yeah.
It's a fantastic album.
Yeah, I mean, plus I'm on a kick because I went to a show,
Yeah.
and they did Playing in the Band and One More Saturday Night, because it was Saturday night when they played it.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, this is Ace by Bob Weir. It's essentially a Grateful Dead album with Bob singing all the lead.
Yeah. It was
the Grateful Dead play on
released around American Beauty and Working Man's Dead around the same time. That was
72. Yeah, it was released the same year as Mickey Hart's album as well.
Yeah. I was shocked. All four of those guys.
Even Rich, because this is early 70s.
Yeah.
Plus, again, like 7 out of the 8 were Grateful Dead songs, live.
Thank you, Sam.
If I was on that committee, I would have, I love it.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Yeah.
Will that Beatles song be released in a box set?
Who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised if they could figure out how to make money on it. They'll put it in a box set.
If they could clean up Anthology and make a really nice, concise set for 2023, because the last when Anthology came out, it was those jewel cases for CDs. They might be able to do a nice little, booklet package or something.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll at least be a 45 or some kind of vinyl, a 12-inch 45 or something. If only the Stones would just do a final song. Dan.
Oh, that's tough.
Love it. Good one, Dan.
Dan's always slamming it. With hockey over now, what do we talk about? Baseball. Although I'm not
Not that we
I
got much to talk about, Glenn.
If the Jays make the playoffs this year, I'll be freaking shocked.
Remember at the beginning of the season, this is the year. This is the
This is
year.
the year they were going to win the division.
God.
Yeah, I don't think they can do it.
Now I know what it feels like to be a Leafs fan. God.
Now and Then is such a terrible song. It's a shame the Beatles' name has to go on it just because. Okay. Well, let's see what they do with it. Like it's no better or no worse than Free as a Bird and Real Love, and I like those songs.
We'll see.
I do too.
I was talking with my friend Tommy Burton from Tommy's Musical Adventures. We were on the phone this evening, and we were talking about that because him and Rob are about the same age, and so he was really caught up in the hype of Anthology, and he's a huge Jeff Lynne fan. So like it was all of his loves coming together. We were talking. You take songs like Free as a Bird, which were essentially a verse and a chorus that they just kept replaying over and over, with with Paul singing can we
added a bridge to it.
Yeah, Paul came up with that.
But Real Love, that's a full song. That was a
Yeah.
full song with Paul and George singing the background on it. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if Paul writes anything. He'll have to write something to this song.
He will have to write a coda for it or something because he did a great job on Free as a Bird. I love that.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I love the videos. I love the Free as a Bird where it's like all the Beatles references, and then the Real Love where it showed them, in their late 40s with their old selves, their younger selves.
When that was on, when it was on ABC, when that was on, it was on 3 nights, 2 hours a night.
Yep.
And I think it was the end of the first night. You had to wait right till the end.
Right till the end, and they played.
They had the hype, and then they put in 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah.
You're going to hear a new Beatles song, and then
I remember it vividly.
right. That's
So
the way it did.
exciting.
Count it down, and then all of a sudden you got the video.
And that
Yeah.
Free as a Bird where it starts with the bird flapping its wings. It's just
Yeah.
silent. And
It's a
then
beautiful
pow,
video.
pow, pow. It's just, I
Yeah.
love that. I love Free
Yeah.
as a Bird.
It's
And I was
pretty
telling
cool.
Tommy because I did that series where I ranked up the Beatles songs. I didn't include those 2 songs, but if I was to compare those songs to everything the Beatles did in the 60s, those would knock out my bottom 50 Beatles songs easy because I like them better than my low 50 Beatles songs, and then possibly a much higher.
Do you consider them part of? Obviously, you don't consider them part of the Beatles.
I didn't fully consider them.
Catalog.
Yeah, I didn't fully consider them canon.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of like bonus features to a DVD. It's like watching like an extra scene of a movie. That's not the actual movie,
Yeah. Do you consider them Beatles songs, Rob?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Jack,
100%.
are you familiar with those songs, Jack?
I'm not.
Oh,
Free
I-
as a Bird and Real Love.
Oh boy.
Are you aware of the anthology? Like they put out the Beatles history, authorized history back in the mid '90s.
I saw them at when I was looking at CDs, but I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah, you should watch the document. I don't even
Is it
know
worth it?
if you can stream it anywhere, but can you?
So it aired. It aired
don't-
as 3 parts on television, but then when they commercially released it, it was actually 6 DVDs. It was like 10 hours.
I have the
I've got
DVD.
it. It's great.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
But to accompany the TV documentary, which is fantastic, they did 3 double CDs or 3 double vinyl.
Yeah.
They're either songs that had never been released, live performances that had never been released, or alternate studio takes that had never been released. And the whole thing is absolutely fantastic.
I was at this antique store, I'm going to say maybe 5 years ago or something, and they had a box set of what I thought was all 3 of the vinyl. It was in a box set, and I'm sitting on a shelf, and the guy sold it to me for like $80.
wow.
And I told my buddy at Zap Records and said, I just scored a gold mine. I got the anthology albums in a box set for $80. He's going, they never put that in a box.
Then you found it was Laserdisc.
Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah. I took
You
it
still
back.
have it?
I said, buddy, you told me this was records.
Do you still have it?
No, I sold it back to him. I
Oh,
went back.
damn it. I would have bought it off you. I don't
Really?
have a Laserdisc player, but I would have it just to have it.
Oh man. Well, if I ever go back to I wouldn't be surprised if it was still sitting there. If I ever go back to that.
But Jack, they what they essentially did was, because a lot of those recordings have now started slowly leaking out on the big Beatles box sets that have come out in the last 5 or 6 years. But on Anthology 1 and 2, they released 2 new Beatles songs with production by Jeff Lynne, of Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
There were stuff that John had started before he passed away, and then the other Beatles finished them 20 years later.
Okay.
So it's like late 40-year-old Paul McCartney, Ringo, and George, with their voices and their instruments playing over like a 35-year-old John Lennon.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's pretty cool.
It was as well done as you could have done it.
Jeff Lynne was the man for it.
I love both of them. And my only beef, though, and I don't know why they did it, on Real Love, they pitch shifted John's vocals up an octave.
Yeah.
You can hear the original version of Real Love with John's vocal in the proper vocal range when he recorded. And it sounds, not that the released one, I said, I love it. But I don't know why they pitch shifted him up. They didn't need to. It sounded much better.
Because Paul probably wanted to sing higher than John, because normally he did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work. So you'd want it lower. Well, I don't know why they would have done that.
I'm thinking because, again, John was always self-conscious about his voice. Maybe they figured he wouldn't want it out raw like that. You listen to a song like Your Blues or something like that, where his voice is so covered. I mean, that's what a 70s Beatles track would sound like, or like an early 80s, I guess, because it's Jeff Lynne. So there's that aspect as well. Maybe even Yoko was like, you can do whatever you want, but I don't. His voice, respect what he would have wanted.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I'm speaking for him. Yeah,
but I'm sure they were respectful of what they would have thought John wanted. What do you think the new Beatles song is? A lot of people say Now and Then. Yeah, Now and Then is the song.
Yeah.
If they remix Free as a Bird, Real Love, and Now and Then as a 3-song EP, that would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool. It'd be interesting. They could probably go back and remix Free as a Bird and Real Love and make it even better, probably, with the technology they have now.
Yeah.
Hello, Briar.
Hey.
Hello, Marcia. Free as a Bird or Free Bird? I know the
Free as a Bird.
But you never play in a band in a bar and people yell out, "Play Free as a Bird." That doesn't happen.
They'd be my kind of people if they did.
If I ever go to a Cosmic Torpedo show, that's what I'm going to shout out.
Okay, Nigel is like it's not the Beatles, damn it. Yeah. As long as they're only isolating what they worked on through anthology, I'm all in for it. De-aging his voice would suck.
I don't want to de-age.
Yeah, I don't want the de-aging either.
I think they might be doing that. Stevie Nicks' catalog is being released on 16 LP sets.
No thanks.
The LPs are done by Rhino, only 3,000 sets.
I
don't know if I need 16.
I love Stevie, but that's a little extravagant.
That's a little too much Stevie for me. I don't need that much.
Well, the thing is, it's 16 LP, but it's only her 8 studio albums and then 2 discs of bonus. So it's like, I don't know if they're doing 45 RPM or what they're doing, but I don't know why they've stretched them out so many. But there's not a whole lot of bonus to it.
Yeah,
it's just her catalog with 2 CDs of extras.
Have you guys heard that the Stevie Nicks Belladonna Live that came out on Record Store Day?
No. I have not heard it.
Oh, I got it. It's fantastic.
Really?
So good.
Wow.
So good.
I'm just happy about this deal I got. Charles Mingus, the great jazz guy. I've only got 2 Charles Mingus albums. I can't call myself a Charles Mingus fan because I got and I got one other. But I saw on the I think I mentioned it before. I saw it on the Steve Hoffman forum that somebody said Amazon.ca is selling this 8 LP box set that's coming out actually on my birthday next Friday for $127 Canadian. So I went on there and I thought, I'm going to pre-order it because you don't have to pay up front. You just put the pre-order and they don't charge you your card until they ship it. And then a week later, they jumped the price to $240. Now they've jumped the price to $298. And I paid $127 for it.
Wow.
Jeez.
So I'm kind of excited.
Did you see on other news that Mickey Dolenz had to cancel out of his tour because of altitude sickness?
No.
He was touring like in Utah or somewhere, and he was supposed to be scheduled for like one of the Comic-Cons or something this weekend, and he had to pull out because he had altitude sickness. It was like causing headaches and everything, and so doctor is like, essentially he can't do anything, well past like June 23rd. So
You can't do anything past 2,000 feet in the air.
All right.
Stay off ladders, Mickey.
Right.
The Beatles did takes.
Paul, George, and Ringo.
The Beatles did a take. Paul, George, and Ringo. They didn't.
They
go
did a take of it with them, and George said it was crap.
Yeah,
so
George
they
said the
canceled it.
song was rubbish. That's right.
But
I don't care what George says.
But again, people are saying that's Paul saying George said that. There's no proof.
Well,
that George said
yeah,
that.
but George was I mean, that sounds like something George would
Well,
say.
George was
He was a
self-proclaimed.
bitter guy at that time. He only did the anthology for money. He was the only one who wasn't really into it.
You can see him with Paul, like the way he looks at Paul in those videos. He's like,
Yeah,
what am I doing here?
He did not want to do that whole thing. That was just a cash grab for George.
And he got a lot of cash.
James has got the Stevie Nicks CD set.
Yeah, the CD set's only $100.
For 10 CDs, that's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
I kind of suppose the same theory that Sam just explained regarding Paul and Olivia in my latest video.
Okay. Yeah, let's hope.
Nice, James, for buying Stevie. Just using AI to enhance John's vocals.
Yeah.
But I also thought they were doing something with Paul's, but we'll see. I'm sure it'll all be explained. Hearing about this new Beatle track, Not a Second Time, comes to mind. I think we're getting new anthology releases with that new Beatles song.
I hope it's just the anthology, because it would be dumb for them to put out like a new anthology, because they're
Anthology 4?
Yeah, they're breaking it down with all the box sets now. So unless they release it as just solely like live material.
I don't know if anybody wants to hear Carnival of Light. I hear it's just awful. Like it's just like it's. I mean, anybody who's a fan of Revolution Number 9, I apologize, but I think it's like you're looking at something like that, right?
I'm with you,
but
it's not as. I mean, I've heard it. It's not as abstract as
you
that.
wouldn't even if they released that and called it the Glenn Callaways, you wouldn't know it was the Beatles. Like I bet you there's not one thing that you would say that's a Beatles song.
Right.
Are any of you all?
Yes, I'm a tribe member. That's good. Yeah, Michael Noland is.
Did any of y'all get Paul McCartney's book, the new one?
Not yet. Not the picture one.
Yeah.
No. I can't do picture books because I'll look at the pictures once and they'll sit in the shelf for the rest of my life.
Not for $65.
Yeah.
Or $80, whatever it is.
Yeah, put Now and Then on Carnival of Light. Yeah, put one on the back. 45. A lot of songs were cut from the original anthology track list. Oh,
There's
really?
I don't know if you guys know, there's a channel in Austria called Parlogram Auction. Actually just called Parlogram now. I've been on his video once or twice before, but he's kind of like the Beatles expert. And he did a series of 3 videos on the anthology. He makes the best YouTube videos there is. He did a video for each of the 3 anthologies. And I don't know where he gets his research, but it is absolutely top notch. He had the original production notes of what was supposed to be on the anthologies, and he goes through the track listings and talks about what they originally planned and why it was cut. Excellent video.
What's the name of the channel?
Parlogram, Parlogram.
Parlogram. Okay, I'll check them out.
And if you watch it, every video he does is Beatles. He has a business where he sells.
I mean, you can readily buy bootleg copies of all the outtakes from the anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on DVD. Okay. They could use A1 to clean up the very poor Beatles concert bootlegs. That would be awesome.
That would be interesting. I'd love to see Candlestick Park as an audio release.
I would like to see, or
the
any
Budokan
video,
show.
enhance the video like they did with the Get Back movie and give us some good sound. If they could imagine if they could take the screaming out and you could just hear the Beatles playing. I bought a CD jam called Now and Then. Great version of Carnival of Light. Grow Old With Me, Real Love. Wow. I've never heard Carnival of Light. I didn't know it was anybody's ever heard it.
Just you can search it. It's on YouTube. You can find it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Beatles Museum record store in Vancouver called RPM Records. Oh.
There used to be a great Beatles store in Toronto called Beatlemania, but it's not around anymore.
That was a friend of mine.
Was it?
Yeah.
I used to go there back in the 90s.
I was in that store 24 hours a day. Like that was my hangout.
Well, then we probably bumped into each other when I was 15 years old because I went there a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I was there a ton. That was him and I were like we collected together. I had a big Beatlemania or big.
Well, then, Glenn, I guess we've met before then, eh?
Wow, that's crazy.
I was much handsomer than I am
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I used to collect Beatles memorabilia with Greg Godovitz from Gatto and Peter. And Peter now is a huge Beatles dealer. Like I don't know, he actually we've been in touch for many years, but we were really good friends. He brokered the deal on the Chapman autograph album.
Really? I
He's
didn't know
that
that.
big a guy in the Beatles collecting
Holy
world.
shit.
He did the last time he hosted a Beatles event in Toronto. It was down at the exhibition grounds, and it was a Beatles weekend, and they had May Pang and a whole bunch of people there. And he got all the big Beatles collectors in. They even had the actual drum skin from the Beatles and Ed Sullivan.
Wow.
And they had it in a big showcase, and they had all kinds of cool stuff there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love to be going up to the Rock Hall. Their newest exhibit is going to be focused on Tom Petty at the Fillmore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of his set lists and guitars and things like that.
Well, you should go, Sam. And when you do, you're only 6 hours away from Glenn and I. So
Yeah.
That's true.
We should meet up in Cleveland.
There you go.
It's a 5-hour drive.
Or we could meet in Buffalo and go out for chicken wings.
Yeah, and Hamburg and Liverpool Empire Theater and many more. You hear about Bill Wyman being on the new Stone? I did just hear that. He's on one of the tracks. I feel your pain over there because the Mariners were supposed to be contending for the division, but they got nothing. Yeah, I think they've got a lot of injuries too, the pitching staff and that. So McCartney on the new Stones album.
Yeah.
Are we winning tonight, Glenn? What's the you don't have to get
commercial on?
We got our ass kicked last night.
I don't even think I got the right channel on.
Sorry, I'm checking the app here. Oh, we're winning 1-0.
There we go. I had the MLB network on. I didn't even have the right channel on. 1-0. Wow.
1-0.
Jack, what did you think of some of those records that Steve sent you? That was quite the gift.
Yeah, I haven't played them yet because I ain't got a player yet, but I'm excited to start them.
When are you getting a turntable, Jack?
I don't know.
You don't. How come you haven't got one yet? Is it just like you haven't earned enough money on the paper route yet, or what's going on?
I'm being lazy.
Lazy?
Yeah.
So you have the cash, you just haven't gone out and bought a turntable.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say maybe
Crosley's or something. That's
yeah. Oh, don't say that word, Glenn. Jesus.
Oh. Well, that's okay for a young person.
No, it's not.
Sure, it is.
Yeah,
that's more of a serious music fan than that. You can one step up from that at least.
Well, what
like a cheap Audio Technica or something.
Yeah, but you got to hook it up to something. Then you got to buy an amp, and you got to buy.
You can buy some cheap, like Amazon speakers or something. Just don't buy a Crossley, Jack. Whatever you do.
Who knows?
I'm not an audiophile snob by any means, but God, man, don't buy a Crossley.
I think my grandma has one.
Glenn should be kicked out of the VC for suggesting it.
Zero Love was on an early track list for Double Fantasy. Oh, is that like an outtake for Double Fantasy? I would have taken some of the Yoko songs on and put Real Love on there, but
yep.
Take them all.
Like today's high flying wrestling, or do you miss just stomping and punching? And no, I think wrestlers today are awesome, Dan. They're like that's. Man,
wrestling. Time for a bathroom break.
Those guys are athletes.
Rob's getting old. He's got to go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times. In this,
There's an exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery in London of Paul McCartney's photos from his new book, but you have to pay $30. Oh, that's ridiculous. Doesn't Paul have enough money?
Nah.
Would you rather have a super high-end car or a super high-end audio system?
Audio system. I don't care about
less if I had a car.
A car is just a tool for me to get from one place to the other.
Yeah,
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
My car, I bought my car for $700 from my aunt and uncle, and I've had it for 2 years. So,
yeah, I commented on the In the Prog Seat last night when they talked best prog albums in '79. I said Wings Back to the Egg because the Beatles invented everything anyway. Yeah, I'm sure they all appreciated that as a prog album. Stu Hart's famous dungeon is just down the highway. It shows Stampede Wrestling. Yeah, Stampede Wrestling was can't miss TV. The Music Sanctuary, I agree. Stampede ruled. My favorite territory promotion ever. They reworked Free as a Bird and Real Love for the One Plus DVD Blu-ray. I forgot how John's voice sounded on that. I got to listen to that again. I do have that set. Do you have that set, Sam?
No, I've heard the original songs without the pitch change, but
Well, they got that's Blu-ray audio plus
Yeah.
Blu-ray video. It's like with all the Beatles videos enhanced.
Yeah,
you
it's
might
for like
have
the-
that, Rob. The number one set in the box with the
One Plus. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have One Plus. I've just, or do I? Hold on. I don't know.
I have the box set. I haven't watched it or listened to it for a long time.
Jack, what was your first Beatles album that you listened to all the way through?
I think it was just their first one. That's where I started with most bands.
With Please Please Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you started. You explored the Beatles from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So your parents didn't like have an album that you listened to when you were 3 or 4 years old in the car?
No, they're mainly. My mom's mainly '90s fans. Oh, not music. That's
Okay.
what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So your parents are probably what, in their late
40s?
30s, early 40s or something?
Yeah, late 30s.
Wow.
Jesus, I'm older than your parents.
My kids are as old as your parents.
Wow.
I'm getting old.
Not everybody can be teens like Jack and I, Glenn.
No. You
No.
youngsters. Does Stevie get a nickel off reissues now that she sold her catalog? Yeah, she would still get, any publishing rights she would
Well, it
have.
depends if she sold the publishing rights or not. Probably, if she'd sold the publishing rights, then no.
Oh, I guess she would have sold that if she sold her catalog.
She might get it. She might get a royalty.
She would just get a performer's royalty.
She get a performer's royalty and maybe a songwriter's royalty if she wrote it.
But she got 100. I don't know how much she got. I'm just throwing it out there. If she got $80 million for her catalog or something, I think she's doing okay.
I wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
care if I had $80 million.
Yeah.
Did you see,
Wow.
Glenn, or did you hear that? Because Bob Dylan's just started off his summer tour, and he did
Jeez.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee for
Yeah,
the first
I
time
saw
since
that.
2015,
Yeah.
and he's still doing Not Fade Away and like some Dead tunes.
Yeah.
So there's something happening with that. I think there's something, and I almost sent it to you today. I was listening to he was in Portugal a few days ago, and the song My Own Version of You from Rough and Rowdy Ways.
Yeah.
He's made it. He's picked up the pace on it, and it's like a 12-bar blues song now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very interesting.
Wow. He's I think that Europe tour goes on till about mid-July, maybe the first week or two in July, and then
Yeah,
hopefully he's going to announce some fall dates in somewhere where I can go see him.
yeah. It looks like his last date listed is July the 7th in Italy.
Yeah, and then he'll come home. I'm sure he'll probably take the month of July.
He's always in my area in like November, so hopefully he's back around here in November.
He's got to do Canada,
We don't,
or he does more U.S. dates.
we worry about me, Glenn, not Canada.
Wow. Did you pick up the Shadow Kingdom album yet?
I've got it on CD. Yeah, I still haven't. But the Barnes and Noble that I went to didn't have it on vinyl. The second.
How
one.
amazing is it?
Oh, I love it.
Me too.
I mean, I love the film too. But
I taped the film off of PBS.
oh, did you? You
Yeah.
caught it when they showed it.
And there was also the same time that week they showed Molly Tuttle live from Nashville. I got that on tape.
She's so
They
good.
showed the Dylan thing, and they showed one other one. Man, I can't remember what it was.
That
Good.
that band is great. I think it's T-Bone Burnett. Don is in that. I think Greg Lee's the pedal steel player.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, it's just brilliant.
The what was it you wanted is fantastic.
Oh, every song is just a gem. I think it's great, and his vocals just sound perfect. The audio recording is fantastic.
And you don't miss any percussion. You don't miss the percussion.
No, I've got it on vinyl and on CD. The CD sounds amazing. The vinyl sounds incredible.
Yeah, I need to look for it. I'm at this point because I have it on CD. I'm waiting for it to drop a little bit.
Oh, Dan said my friend pre-ordered the Mingus set for 128 too, and he hopes they won't stiff him. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, but I'm thinking because it's not the Beatles or the Stones or something, they might just let it slide. Only $100. I think that's for Stevie. You've heard Carnival? See, Andrew's asking. I've never heard it.
Well, I heard something that says that's what it is. It's on several bootlegs. Whether it's the actual thing or not, I don't know.
Dan, I did not fall for that. It made me sick, and I have
Glenn
never been able to listen to
loves
Klaatu.
Klaatu. He
Everybody
loves
tells
them.
me Klaatu is a great band. I can't listen to it because of that. I can't.
Jack, do you know about that?
No.
It's a Canadian prog band called Klaatu that came out in, when was that? 80s or 90s or late 70s? I don't even know when it came out.
It was early 70s.
Yeah, I heard.
And they tried to say that it was the
Larry
Beatles in
said-
disguise.
Yeah, I heard that.
And it didn't sound anything like the Beatles.
Yeah, I didn't think it did either.
Oh,
They put out 5 albums.
This album here, Jack.
Yeah.
ugh. I'm gonna throw up my mouth.
Are you allowing that on your stream, Glenn?
No, get out of here.
Listen, you grumpy old man, you let me finish. I bought it only because of everyone says it sounds like the Beatles. And I was at a record show, it was in a $2 bin, so I grabbed it.
Wow.
And you're right. There's one song, and I think it's Sub Rosa Speedway. I think there's one song where there's like the bridge kind of sounds like the Beatles.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And I go, yeah, okay, I could see that. But it's not even the whole, it's part of one song. The rest of the album sounds nothing like the Beatles. So I'm going, I don't get why people thought it was the Beatles. So I don't like it either, Glenn, but I spent $2 just to hear what the fuss was about.
All right. Thank you. You've redeemed yourself.
Thank you.
But remember,
my wife, Jack.
Fan, so
Thank you.
Jesus.
My wife's a big fan of yours. She just subbed your channel.
Thanks.
Is Mrs. Calloway sub to the Sam St. John channel?
No.
Or Northern Revolution? She should.
Yeah.
I'm at
It's
824.
interesting whether she is or not.
She could be 825.
Jesus, look at you go, Sam. I've been stuck at 780 for like 4 months, and I haven't moved one single subscriber in 7 months.
I put up a couple of videos, and I went up like 15 just last week.
I think what we need to do is we need to have a live chat that's like a telethon.
Until we get to 1,000.
Until we've all reached whatever plateau we want to reach, the next plateau. And
I've given up on 1,000. It's never going to happen.
Stay awake for if it's days at a time until enough people subscribe to us. And after a while, the whole world would start watching because they'd be going, these guys are they've been on for 5 days without food and water.
At that point, we're talking about our favorite breakfast foods, just trying to find conversation.
Yeah.
By that amount of time, I will have converted you guys to Spice Girls fans.
And we'll convert you to the Beatles, Rob.
Oh, Jesus.
But for those that don't know, and I mean, I put up a video, and actually, it got a much better response than I thought it would. I know Glenn knows it, so people are probably tired of me talking about this album.
Great album.
It's the new Marty Stewart album, but you hear Marty Stewart, you think 80s country. It's not. It is literally like if you like the Byrds from Sweetheart of the Rodeo onward, you'll love this album.
Yeah.
I mean, it's jangly. It's
There's
psychedelic.
one song that's kind of real country-ish.
Altitude, the title track is straight ahead country.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very, very, very good. Like
it is.
I mean,
it's not as good as Way Out West for me, but it's damn close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
I've listened to it a lot.
Yeah, I have too. I really like it.
I love the instrumentals too. Are all on there.
Awesome.
Clarence White.
I'm gonna buy the vinyl too at some point.
Yeah, this is the blue vinyl.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see him in a few months.
Did you ever go to Vortex Records in Toronto? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that closed down.
Getting a refill.
Yeah, all those record stores closed down in the 90s. They all lost, we lost all our record stores back then. Yeah, Vortex was a great store. That was the one that was upstairs right on Yonge Street. You went upstairs. They had tons of records and CDs. It was awesome. I don't think they're a carnival of light sets. I don't think it is either. I have been told it's never seen the light of day, and I can't believe you can listen to it.
Other than the time it was performed live at that art expedition, when it was commissioned for some like avant-garde art expo, and it was performed for that night and then never seen again. So it was performed publicly once.
Alex, how you doing, buddy? I'll leave that up until Sam gets back from his pee break.
I'm coming.
When someone's saying hello to you here, and you're being rude, get back.
I'm a prima donna.
See what we got to put up with, Jack?
Oh yeah.
Total disrespect for the audience.
I'm on the way. All right, what's Alex saying here? Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be back with these gents and meeting Jack, obviously.
Forget Alex. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Jays.
Right.
Is it weird if you guys like the Beatles Hollywood Bowl mainly for the OTT crowd noise? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I don't listen to an album for crowd noise.
Nah.
My son has all the albums for 3 years and he still hasn't bought a turntable.
I have a cousin like that he keeps buying records and he doesn't have a turntable yet.
Well, the albums are always going to be in good shape.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are Marley headphones actually related to Bob Marley, and are they good? I think they are. I think the estate.
I think they're through Billabong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ziggy Marley was just here last night. There was like a huge
At your house? Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. He was at the park downtown with Trombone Shorty and Mavis Staples and Robert Randolph. They were all touring together.
What a show!
Whoa.
You
Really?
didn't go to that?
No, I had to play at an event last night. But
what a lineup! I love Robert Randolph.
They're focusing on New Orleans. I think they're going to be up in Northern Virginia
And Mavis Staples.
Saturday.
Oh,
I've
man.
seen
what a legend.
Mavis. I've seen Mavis.
Have you seen her before?
Mhm.
Oh,
It was the
Have you
shortest concert I've ever been to. It was probably 50 minutes.
really?
No opener, no encore.
Have you guys heard the album that Mavis did with Levon Helm that just was put out last year?
I know about it, but no, I haven't
I
listened.
haven't bought it either. Is it any good?
Yes, I have it on vinyl. It's not what I expected. It's good, but she sings everything on it, which is fine. I had hoped that Levon would. I mean, it's his band and he's playing drums, but you wouldn't know.
Oh, they're just accompanying.
Is that when he had cancer
Probably,
in
yeah.
his voice and he couldn't sing?
Oh, maybe at
Probably.
that time he could have.
It's still it's a fantastic album, but it in my mind it's kind of mislabeled. Yes, it's Mavis and Levon, but it's not really. It's a Mavis Staples album
Okay.
that Levon's band
He's
played.
got such a great. Her voice is just
Well,
incredible.
that's kind
it's
of like
amazing.
that. Remember, Glenn, that Bob Dylan 1970 set that came out a couple of years ago, and that said, with George Harrison. And
Oh yeah, you can't tell George is
no,
there.
he was playing like an acoustic guitar on like 3 tracks.
Yeah,
No harmony vocals or anything.
yeah. What's up, boys? John's out there.
John.
Probably
John.
at the Walmart as we speak.
Or Chipotle or wherever.
What's everyone's favorite McCartney solo album?
Ram.
You know what? I always say Ram, but really the one I listen to the most, and it's kind of taken over for number 1, is Venus and Mars.
Venus and Mars for me.
Yeah.
Band on the Run.
Down the run. Mine used to be Venus and Mars.
But I also really like Flaming Pie.
I was
quite a
just
bit.
going to say I also like Flaming Pie.
Yeah.
And Larry kind of got me into Chaos and Creation.
It's a good album.
I've got an original OG pressing of Flaming Pie from 97 or
Oh,
whatever
wow.
it came out. Yeah. Those are worth a fortune nowadays.
Mm. Talking about Jack.
You could be Jesus's grandfather. You're old. That's thousands of years old, that guy. If she sold the entire catalog, she doesn't receive anything. That 80 million covers the sale. Yeah, that's true. Lennon McCartney, do they equal his chocolate and peanut? No. Who does?
Maybe Glenn and Sam when we're together.
Has Fleetwood Mac sort of become a Ringo All-Star touring band?
Well,
I think
Fleetwood Mac's not touring, so no.
Yeah, they haven't toured since
They're done.
2018, something like that.
Yeah.
They said Mick said they won't after Christine died.
And plus, Fleetwood Mac is not one set of artists. I mean, it's a whole community
it's
of
Fleetwood
artists.
and McVie
Going
with
on
people.
for,
It's a music collective.
This is big news, Glenn. Guess who I am seeing in October? And I am beyond excited because this is the closest thing I'll ever get to seeing this person that was on my bucket list for many, many years. And
ABBA.
You got it.
You're going to see Mike Campbell.
Mike Campbell.
I knew it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Dirty Knobs?
Yeah, and the Knobs. I cannot wait. It's a standing room only. It's a Charlottesville, Virginia.
Oh, well, I won't ask you if I can come with you.
But it's a standing room only venue. So I want to get there and be right up there. And I'm beyond, because he's gonna do Heartbreakers tunes, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, that should be pretty cool.
Because they usually play Running Down a Dream as like the last song. So to hear him do that solo,
yeah,
I'm gonna be
cool.
on cloud nine.
You know what you need to do, Sam? If you get up front, stick around when the show's over and people start filling out, ask one of the sound guys that are cleaning up the stage, ask one of them for a set list. They'll give it to you, man.
Yeah. Oh my word. I went to a show on Saturday. It was an outdoor venue. I mean, they're a well-known band, but they're not, like a rush to the stage kind of band. So they left. The show was over. Their set lists were taped down. These two lunatics, they're probably in their, they were two bigger guys, like heavy guys, like in their late 50s, early 60s. They literally like hoisted themselves up on the stage to rip the set list from the ground because there was nobody on the stage. And the sound guy was just watching them because he must have been like a volunteer or something. But they literally like flopped on the stage and ripped the set list. And they were sitting right next to me, the guys.
That's funny.
But yeah, I do. I want to, because he throws out picks and everything, Mike. So I cannot wait.
Yeah, so that's the other one I taped. The CTR's Royal Albert Hall show.
Oh, wow.
That's a good show.
Glenn, have you heard Anything Goes by Harper's Bazaar? LOL. Oh, because I've got Anything Goes across the bottom of the screen. Yes. I've been noticing a lot more film is being put on YouTube from retired filmmakers, directors, some really great TV concerts. Well, yeah, Midnight Special has their own channel now showing all those old shows.
Yep.
For the most part, Klaatu is just a quirky power pop band. Yeah, I wouldn't even give them that kind of.
No.
Yes, I subbed Rob and Sam. They're Lynn's
giving
you guys some love. And you're invited over for rigatoni, baked rigatoni.
Next time y'all are in town, I need to meet Lynn because I only ever see you and she's always.
Yeah.
You
can just go out with her and do a.
We'll go to Olive Garden, Lynn. We'll go to Olive Garden.
Larry can get his advertisers to help you guys get subs.
The only sub I've got recently was a meatball from Subway.
Oh, my heart.
Oh, I have sub Rob and Sam, even though Sam likes Tom Waits.
I know somebody that you're very close to, Lynn, also likes Tom Waits.
Which one of you hasn't gotten a new sub in 7 months? I'll subscribe if I'm not already. Oh, hi, Melinda. Wow. This is
VC royalty here.
Oh my God. I'm honored that you're watching. She is VC royalty. One of the best.
Not that you aren't, Rob.
Oh, please.
Wow. Man, that made my night. Well, sub them all, Melissa or Melinda, and then we'll all be happy. That's amazing. Not enough Paul Revere talk here. I love Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Me too. They're a little gimmicky, but
well, if they didn't wear those stupid outfits, they would have been a pretty good garage rock.
Yeah.
So not funny story, but when I was in, I think I might have been first year university. I have a history degree, and even though I live in Canada, my degree is in American history because that makes a lot of sense. Because our history up here is incredibly boring, and I needed to write a paper for one of these American history classes I was in. I was sitting at the breakfast table one day, and Indian Reservation by Paul Revere and the Raiders plays. It's a song about the removal of the Cherokee, and I thought, There's an idea for a paper. So that was one of my first university papers, was because of Paul
Oh,
Revere.
wow.
And the Raiders.
That's pretty good. Inspired by Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Exactly.
To you guys, did you see also? Because I know Rob just did the Gordon Lightfoot podcast, which is very good.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched it yet.
But are you going to get the new the live album that is coming out? Did you hear about that? It's a show that he did in 2016 at the Royal Albert Hall, and they said they didn't touch it up or anything. It's raw Gordon Lightfoot from the last time he was at the Royal Albert Hall.
Color me intrigued.
It's supposed to be coming out later this summer.
I saw a thing. I just saw that today somewhere. I saw somebody mention that.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's obviously gonna be his last album of any kind. But
interesting to hear that.
Yeah.
Did Toronto have that electronic store called Crazy Crazy? I'm not sure I remember that.
Not that I know of.
Me. You want a sub?
We already sorted it out. She's already subscribed.
There's a lot of chat tonight, which is good.
Carnival Night was played at the Roundhouse London.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm sure it was on TV at that time. I remember seeing it. But just a one-off, right?
Yeah.
Recent articles have shown that 20% of vinyl buyers do not own a turntable, so it's more common than we think. Yeah, I think that's true.
I believe it, Alex, because it's like that thing of like people that get like their specialty coffees and everything. It's almost about the image of it and like having it in your house. It's very, hipster now to have that in your house on shelves.
Yeah.
Or like old books and that sort of thing.
Do you have thrift stores in your area?
Yeah, I checked.
Stores, a lot of people take their audio equipment in there.
Yeah, but where I am, none of them they're not good.
Yeah, I've seen some really good stuff in my area, but what is a good record player? I think of upgrading my Crosley.
Get it. Audio Technica is a good step up.
Yeah.
What is it? The Audio Technica is like the LP 120. I think is the one most people go.
It's like $200 or less,
something like that. Yeah,
and it's digital, so it's not a belt. So I mean, that's what you want.
And Project too. I think the company Project.
I think there's one of each.
Entry level.
It's the same price. Yeah.
And doesn't the Audio Technica have a built-in preamp? I think.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much your basic.
It's very entry level, but it's a big step up from Crosley.
Yeah, I mean, all said and done, it'd be nice if you could just buy an amp and some kind of a turntable and a couple of speakers. It'd be great.
And if anyone's watching from Audio Technica, feel free to send me one and I'll review it.
Yeah, all around. Around for me and the boys. Yeah,
that's right.
I feel that I'm if anybody's watching from Macintosh, I'd like if anyone they want to send me some amps, I would be glad to. Can help.
If anyone from Apple Records is watching, just send me the new Beatles, whatever you're making.
Yeah, Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. Linda's already subscribed. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Unsubscribe and then subscribe again just so he feels better. What's everyone's thoughts on Walls and Bridges? It's one of my favorite John Lennon albums.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I like the Steel and Glass. That's a good song.
Yeah, it's a great song. That's about Alan Klein, right? I think
so. I don't think there's a John Lennon solo album I don't like.
Yeah, but if I had to rank them, Plastic Ono Band, Imagine, Walls and Bridges are my top three.
Rock and Roll is my favorite, and then Mind Games.
Yeah, that's a good
song.
And
then, controversially enough, Double Fantasy. I know it has the Yoko stuff on there, which I can't stand, but the John stuff that's on there is so strong. I absolutely love it.
I just have a problem with that album because it makes me sad because it's
true. And you're right. One of the most beautiful, in my mind, one of the most beautiful songs John ever wrote was Just Like Starting Over.
Yeah,
because that's where he was in his life. He's found his identity as a dad, and he's starting life all over again. And then he gets murdered, and you just go.
Well, hearing that song on the radio when it was getting played all the time, and then the album comes out, and you buy the album, and you're all excited because John's back as a Beatles fan, and then that horrific fight, and it's like that album just it always brings back that sad day for me.
I was only 2, but let me ask you. Obviously, you probably remember where you were when you heard the news.
God, yeah. I think everybody does. Yeah. If you were around when you heard that news, devastating. Still bothers me. December 8th is still one of the saddest days of the year for me. How many years ago? Is it 40, 50 years ago now?
43.
Yeah. Wow. You lucky dog, Sam. Mike Campbell.
Yeah, I am because I think he's also touring the drummer because the Dirty Knobs, they lost their lead guitar, well, their rhythm / co-lead guitarist and drummer, and so he's picked up 2 other guys. But the drummer has been rotating because for a while he had Stan Lynch, the original drummer, and now he's touring with Steve Ferroni. So
did they clean their knobs and got kicked out of the band?
I don't know.
Had to go there.
Some WD-40 to clean the knobs. Yeah.
Sorry, your knob's too clean. You gotta go. There's a big state fair in Springfield, Massachusetts called the Big E. John Fogerty playing opening day. Very cool.
That's one guy I'd still like to see.
Oh yeah, he's great live. I saw him a few years ago, and we had like front row seats in Oshawa. Oh my god, it was an awesome.
You hear about the Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks live?
I've not. Rob has seen Stevie with Fleetwood Mac, but I've never seen her.
No, I haven't either.
Seen her twice.
They're coming to where I am in August. I might come. Might buy it.
You gotta go to hear Stevie Nicks sing live in person. I don't have the words to describe it. Her voice is unlike anything I've ever heard before.
Wow, it's pretty cheap too. It's only like $50.
Oh
wow!
Yeah, go.
Oh,
go.
Just go. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Have you gone to many concerts, Jack?
No, I uploaded it on my channel, but I only went to like a cover band for Pink Floyd. But that's all I've been to.
Yeah, you need to start going to some concerts, buddy.
Oh yeah.
People aren't going to be around forever if
my first concert was in 9th grade, and then I didn't go to another one for another 3 or 4 years. So I was right where Jack is because you're 17, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine was 10th or 11th grade when I went to my first one.
That was 1970 for me. I'd already seen Hendrix. 1970, I saw the band, Janis Joplin.
You saw the band? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw the band at Festival Express.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right in front of the stage, leaning on the stage.
Do you remember? Was there anything that stood out about their set?
No, they just did all their hits and stuff. It was great.
And what year was that?
1970.
So they had just the first 2 albums?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Then they toured in 74, I think it was, with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and the band played at Varsity Stadium.
Did you go to that?
And I had tickets, and it was freaking pouring, like torrential rain all day. And I decided I'm not going to go. And my buddies still went and braved it. And I wish that was the one thing. It was stupid I didn't go to that. Hey, Rod is with us.
Hey, Rod. We're just talking about you. I'm gonna be in your neck. I'm gonna be in your neck of the woods on all next week, Rod. If he's still watching, I think that comment was older.
Outdoor concerts, are they too inconvenient?
Yes.
No.
I don't like them.
Well, it depends. When you mean like going to Budweiser stage in Ontario Place is fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
I will never buy tickets to. Well, that's not true. I will not buy big tickets for a show that there's not a roof over my head.
I don't know. Last summer when I went to see Jack White at Budweiser and we just were on the lawns and it was a beautiful night. It was fine. The sound was fantastic. I mean, we weren't real close, but you could still see. But normally, if I'm buying tickets ahead of time for a show that somebody I really want to see there, I want to be under the covers just in case the weather sucks.
I still can't get used to calling it the Budweiser stage. It's always the Molson Amphitheater to me.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the Wood Brothers tomorrow night.
Oh, wow.
Second time this year, yeah.
I'm going to see Lois of the Low on Friday night.
Oh, you got the tickets to it? I saw you announced it, that they were coming.
Yeah. I'm going with my nephew Jack and my daughter Stephanie.
I'm taking my son to karate.
Never heard of them.
No. Yeah.
They're a K-pop band.
Yeah, there you go.
Get some merch while you're there. Yeah. Roy was at the CCR show at the Royal. Oh my God.
Man.
Oh my word.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Roy's seen tons of good shows. Great seeing a celeb here.
They're not talking about you, Glenn.
I was looking at the 3 you guys wondering who they're talking about. I think it's Jack.
Yeah.
He must be. The
But have
phenom
you
of
ever heard the
the young
band
phenom.
Juke and Bone, heavy bluesy rock form? No, not heard of them.
No.
I'm intrigued by that bluesy rock from the 70s.
Yeah, that's good.
I have Gordon Lightfoot live album pre-ordered and the new Joni Mitchell live album. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, the Joni Mitchell stuff. That's what she did in Newport. That's coming out too, right?
Yeah, and she just did her first show the other night.
Apparently, it was incredible.
At the
by all
Gorge,
accounts.
right?
Yeah. She had a lot of help. There were a lot of guests with her.
Yeah,
but
that's a bucket list for me going to the Gorge. What a great venue that is. Having a CD player back in '92 was such a big deal that I bought a few CDs in anticipation of getting a player.
I'm jumping ahead because Rod is commenting. I mean, you don't have to jump down to it, but he just commented.
Project are also good and affordable. Yeah, Project or Audio Technica, as the guys mentioned, they're both worth looking into.
I'll be.
Records in the 1980s had many beat up, scratched albums and single 45s in rows with no sleeves, and that was 40 years ago. Yeah, it hasn't changed. There's still a ton of beat up records.
Rod, I'm
trying to sell
be
good money.
I'm going to be in Tennessee, Rod, on Saturday. I'll be there Saturday through Saturday in Pigeon Forge.
Oh, this is Gary Lee Twistle. Gary's from Calgary, and he had an industrial accident and burnt his feet with acid.
Oh,
Jesus.
40% burns.
Woo.
So they're healing really good, much less pain. That's great news, man. That was just devastating.
Wow.
Whoa. Can you imagine? My first setup I would recommend to anyone: Audio Technica LP60, built-in preamp, pair of powered bookshelf speakers.
Yep.
That combo is everything you need for $200. There you go. Make notes, Jack. $200, you're in business.
Take a picture of that with your phone. That's a good deal.
Jack, what you should do is you should have a contest and come up with like a $20 gift certificate for Amazon to give out as a prize, and you get a bunch of subscribers.
You buy your fame, Jack.
Did you and Larry say downvotes help you out? Yeah, either one. Up, thumbs up or thumbs down. YouTube treats it the same.
It's just an audience engagement. So
yeah, they want audience engagement. They don't care if you like it or don't like it. It might be offensive to the person making the video, but
other than that, with YouTube, you can't even see how many thumbs down you have.
So Audio Technica 120, it is. Thanks for the suggestions. Oh, there we go. Cardboard Head Guy. Some of Yoko's songs on Double Fantasy are actually very good. I'd say 5 are pretty good. They're all listenable. I would never skip them.
It's 3-0 in the top of the 8th. Glenn, and Barrios is still pitching.
Oh, wow. That's great. Boy, if he ever turned it around.
Yeah, no kidding.
Strong upgrade for sure. There you go. Did you know what a dirty knob is? You might want to look it up away from the stream.
Just don't do a Google image
John.
search.
Don't. I think John's going to show us. Sounds like a Cheech and Chong record. Man, you could skip rope with that thing. Remember this Cheech and Chong? Long Dong.
Yep.
Going downtown, gonna see my girl. Sing her a song, gonna show her my ding dong. I'm going to see McCartney tomorrow. I hope I can get my Ram album signed.
Good luck with that. You won't get anywhere close.
Oh, he's doing that thing with Conan. That town hall.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, up in New York.
Is that on TV or?
No, but I think it will be like a podcast for Conan.
Oh.
At some point, but yeah, it's a live thing.
Well, that'd be cool if you can get close to him.
Good luck. That'd be awesome if you could.
I've never heard Miley Cyrus sing, so I wouldn't know.
She's quite good.
Do you think Howard Cosell announced the world what? Yeah, that's right. I was in New York City in '74 and met David Peel. He was a friend of John Lennon's at the time. Yeah, I ended up in his apartment and hung out with him. Wow, very cool.
David Peel's apartment or John Lennon's apartment?
David Peel's apartment, I think.
Be a cooler story if it was John Lennon's apartment.
Yeah. Any shows you guys were sorry you went to? No.
Yes.
No. I know what Rob's answer is.
What?
No. Rob, you got one?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see Bob Dylan? I know you don't like Bob Dylan, but I thought.
No, I don't like Bob Dylan, and I've never seen Bob Dylan. This band will be nothing to either of you, but Glenn will know who this band is. Remember that there was a rock band they're from Toronto in the '90s and the early 2000s called Moist.
Who?
Moist.
The name, but I couldn't tell
David
you.
Usher was the lead singer. They were a rock band, and they played free at my university. So I'm a concert guy. I went. It was the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. It was just dreadful. It was free, so it didn't cost me anything, but I still suffered through the entire concert, and it was just.
I've had concerts that I regret going to because I've had a bad experience in the crowd, but never musically.
Yeah, that's me too.
I almost got my ass kicked by a motorcycle gang at a Jerry Jeff Walker concert in Toronto. When they used to have the Ontario Place Forum in the round. I'm sitting there, and all Satan's Choice behind me, like the whole frickin' row is like, Hell's Angels. And I'm sitting there minding my own business, and the guy beside me, he had a spider crawling up his sleeve. And I said, buddy, you got a spider on you, and I got it off. And then I went like this, like, ooh, I felt kind of just, I had the willies from watching it. And when I went like that, the Satan's Choice guy, he had his foot on the back of my chair, and I must have touched his foot. Oh, he went nuts on me, like as if I was doing something to him, right? Oh, he got all offended. I was just going, buddy, don't beat me up.
I have an interesting story offline someday about how I watched the Stanley Cup playoffs with the Hells Angels in a strip club.
No.
I'll tell you that one someday, Glenn, when we meet in person.
Okay. My first concert with Beatles tribute band called Rain in 2018.
They're pretty good by all accounts.
Yeah. Is Cardboard Head guy a younger fella?
It sounds like he is.
I didn't think he was. I pictured him as like a 40-year-old guy.
Me too. I thought he was
he's got to be a young guy.
I thought he was really old cardboard. Like when it was corrugated. I thought he was.
No respect, yeah.
I didn't think he's recycled cardboard.
He's just recycling the jokes, yeah.
Billy Joel's been doing shows with Stevie Nicks. He's doing a few more too. Yeah.
He just announced at the end of his residency at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, not doing that anymore.
He's got one more year of it, and then he's done.
When my son-in-law was at Madison Square Gardens doing the wrestling shows, he said backstage is like there's a whole area just cordoned off with Billy Joel's stuff. It just sits there. Billy Joel. It's all roped off. They did some Stage Fright tunes in their Calgary Festival Express. Yeah, I can't remember the set list too much, but The Wait, and they did all the classic songs.
Did you see Led Zeppelin, Glenn?
I did see Led Zeppelin.
Wow. What year?
1969.
Oh, wow, lucky.
About a week before Led Zeppelin 2 came out.
Wow.
And they did Whole Lot of Love. And
Glenn's so old he saw Beethoven debut his first symphony.
Lois and Low are awesome. They're an indie band. They it's kind of rock. How would you describe it? I don't know. It's
yeah, that's a good
has
question.
A bit of a new wave sound to it.
They're from the 90s. Or
their big album was Shakespeare My Butt.
Yeah, they're mostly 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're still
going.
Okay.
No, but they kind of came to their own in the 90s.
It's great live band.
Let me ask you this,
Hawkins,
Glenn.
The leader, is a great singer and great songwriter.
You're obviously that's your favorite band. What do you think of the Do Good Assassins?
That's
Ron's other band.
I haven't listened to them.
Really? Oh, I think they're great.
Yeah.
I've heard more of that stuff than the Lowest of the Low stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a great singer-songwriter.
He is.
Same front man for the people who have no idea what Glenn and I are talking about.
Yeah, Ron Hawkins.
Yeah, JT was
and Rex Gosden with Chris. Wow.
JT, he texted me a minute ago. He got a thrift store, the Hillman, where Chris Hillman's band before the Birds. Well, it was like the bluegrass band that he was in.
Oh.
Before the Birds, he got it for 50 cents because he's JT. And
wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, JT. I agree with you, Rob. Lennon didn't make an album that I disliked. Strong Cadillac for solo career that really lasted 6 years. My only problem with the rock and roll album, I love every song on it. I wish it was a bit more raw. It's a bit too polished for rock and roll for me.
You think so?
Yeah, I like when McCartney did his that Russian album.
Run Devil Run.
That and the Russian album.
Oh yeah.
The songs are a bit more. He's got just a bit more.
I don't think Paul's voice. I don't. I
Vocals
don't
are
think Paul's voice suits that as much as John's does, though.
Oh, really? I think Paul was a great rocker.
I don't.
I'm
I do
Down, Long Tall Sally, Kansas City. I mean, he could. Helter Skelter. I think Paul could rock pretty good.
But what do I know? I'm not a Beatles fan, apparently. So.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, I took care of Rod.
Hey guys, I'm still here, bro. When are you going to be around? Okay. Very cool, man. This question is for all four of you. What's the greatest album you've ever heard? By the way, I'm from Coventry, England. Oh, I thought you were in Calgary or for some
maybe
reason.
he's from England and lives in
Oh,
Calgary.
okay.
Maybe.
Greatest album I've ever heard is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Greatest album I've ever heard is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. But I'm not a Beatles fan, apparently.
My favorite album is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, but I don't know that it's the greatest, but it's my favorite. I think the greatest album probably ever made is Abbey Road, but my favorite's Pet Sounds.
Jack, greatest album you've ever heard. Not necessarily your favorite. What do you think is just like the masterpiece of all albums that you've heard?
Dang. No, either the White Album or George Harrison's his All Things Must Pass.
Wow.
Both good choices.
Both very large albums.
Excellent question.
Sam doesn't like the White Album, but apparently he is a Beatles fan.
Hamilton, Joe.
You'll learn one day, Rob.
Hamilton, Joe, Frank Reynolds, and I would have said Young. Hamilton, Joe, Frank Reynolds, and Young have been the greatest MRO prog band ever. FM or NASA / pick one, Glenn. Ooh, FM.
FM.
Who among you has the cheapest gas prices?
201. Holy shit.
That's pretty. We're about we're in the 150s here right now.
I paid
155 to 159.
I paid 165 this morning.
Wow, we're talking about Canadian money per liter. So the times what? What's that?
Times 3.78.
Almost times 4. What's gas there in the States now?
The Kroger grocery store near my apartment is $3.05 right now.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It was around $3. And when I was in when I was in the States last year, I think I was paying up to $4.
Yeah, but that's when it was really high. But it dropped off and kind of plateaued, which is I'm fine with.
$3 is great. I hope it stays that way when I'm.
It's about $3.25 most places. That this Kroger is a little bit cheaper than some.
Yeah, it's like $3.20.
Yeah, about $3.20 is probably average.
Makes me feel very thankful I have a company car and they pay my gas. I haven't bought a tank of gas in 17 years.
Wow. Question for you all. What's the album that the critics and fans seem to hate, but you all absolutely love?
Ooh.
Well, my
critics and fans, you mean fans of the band? Like that don't. So I'm kind of reading when he says fans.
My guess is that like an album, like a movie, like a movie that you like that the critics smash, or what versus like an album.
Yeah, but when he says fans, I'm thinking you're like a Beatles fan, but you don't like the.
For example, like Self Portrait by Bob Dylan, the critics panned it.
Yeah, true.
You might love it. Geez.
Wow.
My thing is, I don't even like read album reviews that much, so it's hard for me to judge.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of stuff most people would have a hard time liking. Like I like Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart, where I guarantee most people would just think that's the biggest garbage they've ever heard.
I mean, for me, the album Born and Raised, I talk about all the time by John Mayer, was one where he was really being panned by the critics as just a person. The album, I don't know how it did critically, but I know it didn't produce any. I think it was the first album that he put out that didn't have any hits, but as an album, I think it's close to perfect.
One album I loved that the critics hated was U2's Rattle and Hum.
Wow.
Consistently, critics say that is a failed concept album, and it's kind of all over the place. There's the Sun Studio stuff, and then there's some live stuff, and they're just like, it's a hodgepodge. The album makes no sense. I think it's damn brilliant. I love it.
I like it. I mean, that's my favorite U2 album.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm going to agree. I like it too. Glenn, you should for sure try to find a CD copy of the band Bold if it's available. I'll look for that. The guys in Rain are from here. There's another Beatles thing touring right now called Beatles Number Ones, where they're doing all the songs from the Number Ones thing, and that looks like a really I mean, they have like orchestra with it. Like they've got a huge freaking thing going on.
Do they
there.
dress up or are they just playing the music?
I think they just play the music.
Mm.
It's
That's
supposed
what
to be
I prefer.
amazing.
That's what I prefer. If I have to go, I generally avoid tribute shows, but like the Plague. But
I've only seen one. I saw Beatle the one that was on in Broadway. I saw that live when it toured. It was okay.
Yeah.
Every venue should make space for Billy Joel.
Get out of here, John.
I've got room for him in my basement if he wants to come down.
Wow, Copperhead
Late
got
2000s. Wow.
Good Lord.
I don't know why I thought you were like 40.
He was born in the late 2000s. He's like 3.
It's like probably 15.
Well, that's why he doesn't know what his head is.
He is recycled cardboard for sure.
He's even younger than Jack is.
Wow.
Wow. And he listens to us old farts yak every week.
So that way,
No, I feel
you're
like
old
I'm
enough to be
meeting
his
him
grandpa.
today. I remember Aldo Nova. Yeah, they said he toured in Rain before this big break. Oh. What's 139? Is that how much Music Sanctuary just gave me in a donation?
I mean, you can divide that up by 4.
What do you make of Boot Sauce and Primus and the like? I don't know Boot Sauce, but I do like Primus because I'm a big Les Claypool fan. I think he's a great bass player, and I like the work he's done with Sean Lennon.
Yeah, I know Larry's a fan of that.
That's yeah. Saw Zepp 4 times, Albert Hall twice, 69, 70, Bennett Music Fest 70, and Rose Court 72. Wow.
Good night.
Yeah, Roy's got a freaking resume of concerts.
Roy, you need to make a channel.
He does.
Yeah.
He's always so good at commenting. He's got stories.
Well, Led Zeppelin played in Toronto 3 times at a place called the Masonic Temple, which is a small place at Davenport and Yonge. It was an old Shriners building or something. It's called building like
It was a stonemason's lodge.
Still the Mason's Lodge, yeah. And they started. It was our Fillmore.
Yeah.
In late 60s, early 70s, and everybody played there.
Then it became a TV studio.
The first band that played there was, I believe, Blood, Sweat, and Tears was the first band that played there. And Zeppelin played there 3 times, and it was hard to get in every time. I remember I didn't go down. The lineups were insane. And the last time they played there, they were responsible for the place shutting down because they refused to go on until their salary was doubled or tripled or whatever amount of money they asked for, Peter Grant. And they actually went bankrupt on that show and closed down the theater.
Jeez.
What are they using that for? Because I don't think there's concerts there anymore, is there?
No, I don't think so. I think they use it for they did use it for a TV studio. I think CTV owns it or something.
It was it was CTV owned it because that was where Open Mic with Mike Bullard was.
Mike Bullard, yeah.
Yes, he can, JT.
There we go.
I didn't say he couldn't. I just think John's
Rob said that Paul McCartney has never.
But I'm not apparently I'm not a Beatles fan. So
well, even though I probably
own more Beatles records
bitter about that, eh? You're still bitter about that comment.
I'm just saying. I probably own more Beatles records than the 3 of you guys.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a Beatles fan owning a record.
For God's sakes.
Yeah, I can go out and buy $7.
Yeah, I could buy the whole catalog from ABBA, but I'm not an ABBA fan.
Every week I know how Don Felder felt.
Speaking of,
but you're a Beatles fan, but you don't like the Get Back movie. You don't listen to Beatles solo records. You don't like what else was it?
Paul Can't Rock.
You don't like Yesterday, one of the greatest songs of all time.
Wow.
You're a Beatles fan.
And he never called the Beatles.
The old adage is opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
You're a fine Beatles fan, Rob.
Thank you.
I listened to the first Eagles album for the first time in over a year. That's a good
great album.
Yeah, it is a good album.
I always forget that Bernie Leadon wrote with Gene Clark.
Yeah.
Because I knew that song first from the Dillard and Clark album.
Oh, This Train Leaves Here This Morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, it's killer.
There's one album, though. Bernie Leadon, when he left the Eagles, he made an album with this guy. I can't remember the guy's name was, and there was Leadon and somebody else. And it's the most disappointing album you've ever heard in your life. It was awful.
Because he has a really good voice.
And I was such a fan of his.
Well, see, that first album, it's crazy that how little it seems like Don Henley contributed vocally to that album.
Yeah.
You had Randy Meisner does like 3 tracks, Leadon
Yeah.
does 2. So it's wild that was a full band effort on that first record.
Have you guys ever heard Long Branch Penny Whistle?
Boy, I've heard that name before.
So what that is that was Glenn Frey and J.D. Souther. They recorded that album together just before Glenn and Don formed the Eagles. And it's been re-released on vinyl. I got it. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Same kind of music.
Yep.
There's some great live shows of Beatles down on YouTube with John playing the organ. Yeah, that's a classic on the Shea Stadium shows. Yeah.
I saw that on the Ed Sullivan live. I saw that.
Badfinger, put out some great albums. We pay 47% tax on liter here in BC. Yeah, Canada with tax. Let's not get started there. 134.9 in Edmonton. That you guys are doing really good. That's 20 cents lower than it is here in Ontario.
It's because they got their own oil out there.
Wow, Gary's never heard Pet Sounds.
And he's not from Calgary.
I have no affiliation with Calgary. I've never traveled overseas. I know. Okay, I don't know where I got you were from Canada. I didn't know. He's from Overome.
Are you you said you were having family over for the 70th, Glenn?
Yeah, both daughters are coming on the 20th. My birthday is 23rd. They're coming. Andrea's flying in from Florida on the 21st.
Is that the first time
y'all been together? 22nd, staying overnight. 23rd, 24th, we're getting up and we're all going to Toronto to see the Blue Jays.
You didn't invite me. What the hell? Come on.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited for next week.
That's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
I can't wait to make my flight up there with them because the family.
Yeah, come up. You're more than welcome. You can buy the hot dogs.
Fuck.
Well, you said he was anxious to come up. You didn't say anything. You acted like you could have cared less.
I said, when you go, your family's coming in, we're going to go to the Blue Jay game. And I'm like, what about me? And just nothing. But Sam wants to get on an airplane.
I thought you said that's my team. Like I was stealing your baseball.
No.
Oh, I misheard you. Sorry.
That's fine. Again, I know exactly. No, I know exactly how Don Felder felt.
I'll show you.
Black sheep of this little operation.
I'll email you my ticket row, and you buy a ticket close to us. We'll all sit together.
There we go.
Well, see, that's why he's testing out Jack, because he's trying to make that transition seamless for when you.
Yeah, exactly.
Rob, I would. Yeah, hey, I've been trying to meet up with you a couple of times. He comes within a half an hour of my house and doesn't even tell me he's coming.
I was in and out very quickly for work.
I'm hurt.
See, some of us have to
damaged me forever. Like Sam stood me up for a concert, and you come within. You drive by my house and don't even say hi.
Yep. Some of us have to work for a living. And by the way, I did drive right by your house. I wanted to shit on your lawn, but you wouldn't give me your address, and you weren't even in town the day that I was there. So
I can't
what's
help
good for the goose, sir, is good for the gander.
Just because I'm retired doesn't mean I don't have a life too.
Well, we're gonna make it happen next time.
$4.25 a liter, California $5 and up. Yeah, that's still cheaper than Canada, JT. So we're not gonna feel.
But also, what's the minimum wage in California right now? Like $18.
Yeah,
it's $15.50 in Ontario.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's across Canada or not, but Ontario.
It's like 10 here in Virginia.
I get 16 here.
I like Jefferson Starship, so I have no shame. Wow,
I'm with you, Dan. I do too. I don't see why everyone thinks I Built This City is a terrible song. I know that's Starship.
Yeah, that song gets crap.
I didn't think I made that. Wow.
I love that song.
I don't mind it either.
Yeah,
I like it.
That song gets crapped on almost as much as You're Having My Baby by Paul Anka.
It's kind of universally acclaimed as the worst song ever.
Yeah.
Well, so is Wonderful Christmas Time. I know how y'all feel, but it's not that bad.
I don't know if your favorite album that everyone else hates is Love Beach. That's funny. It's the cover.
I like it. Not the cover,
but by the Slice Joints. Are they all right? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. They work.
Pizza's like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Waldman Fisherwood, an album most people couldn't listen to, but many critics liked. Didn't Zappa have something to do with that? Where the hell is Doc Dawkins? Larry. I think Molly's up visiting. I take the back seat when Molly shows up. I don't know why.
That's
I can't
weird.
figure it out why. She jumps ahead in the queue when she comes up. It's tough. Maybe all your fave Hendrix album, Electric Ladyland.
Same here.
I have never listened to a Jimi Hendrix album in my life.
Why?
Wow.
He's not for me.
Well, how do you know if you've never listened to the albums?
I know plenty of Jimi Hendrix songs.
Yeah,
But
you don't even like the All Along the Watchtower?
I could do without it.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
I don't know if I'll say it. I won't say it.
Okay, don't say anything.
Okay.
Jack, are you a Hendrix guy?
Oh, I like all of them. I haven't heard Axel Bowler's Love yet, but I like the other two.
Axis Bulls Love is great.
Who was it? Sting did a cover of one of the songs from there.
Sting did a great cover of Little Wing.
Wings, yeah.
Yeah. And Eric Clapton plays the guitar on that song.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
So Eric Clapton had that album, that set. I mean, I know he's a wanker now and all that, but I still like Clapton. He had that album in the 90s, 24 Nights, where he played 24 nights at Royal Albert Hall, and he did a blues night and a rock night and a orchestral night. That's all been released now in a big box set.
Yep.
It's like 10 CDs or something. I was looking at it. They want $180 for it.
Wanker.
And I would like to own it, but there's supposedly something I've never heard is there was a guy named Michael Kamen who was like a songwriter of some kind and wrote a 30-minute opus for Eric Clapton to perform at that show, and it's on the set. It's a 30-minute guitar kind of a thing. I think it'd be very cool to hear.
There's one Clapton album I'm trying to track down. I remember back in the 90s he did Riding with the King, that album with B.B. King.
Oh yeah. Can you get that on vinyl?
Yeah, they've just released it on vinyl within the last year, so I've just not seen one out in the wild, and I don't want to eBay it. So hopefully I trip across it I have it on CD, but I want it on vinyl.
Yeah, I have it on CD too. What up, fellas? Hey, Chance.
Hey, Chance.
You play any instruments, Jack?
No.
He doesn't even play the turntable.
But
Do you think a solo Beatles release is as good as an Abbey Road album? No. But we did have this discussion the other day. There are some Beatles solo albums that are better than some Beatle albums, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Has Massey Hall ever been renoed? Yes, it was.
Yeah, they just finished it. It was like 2 years. What did they spend? $40 million?
Yeah, I haven't been since it's renoed. I'm going in
either.
October. I'm going to see Steve Hackett from Genesis in October.
Apparently, they did an incredible job
At Massey Hall.
Did you see that Gary at Physical Format saw Martin Barr and how much he
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Martin Barr in a club about 5 or 6.
You said it's a great show.
Fantastic. Oh, yeah. He puts on a great show. He's got a great band. Great guitar player. What is going to replace FOMO? Fear of missing out. I don't think anything will replace that as long as people are putting out these box sets and stuff and limited editions. And Glenn, you like Southern Fury Hillman? I like it, but I don't own any. I've heard those albums before, and I think I used to own a couple back in the day, but I don't have any of them now. I don't know if I would get them or not.
Did you ever see the Birds, Glenn?
No, I saw Roger McGuinn.
Yeah, I have to.
I'll take Gene Kiniski, but
what about Gene Hackman?
Oh, Gene Clark or Gene Rayburn. That No Other albums. One of the greatest albums ever.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Flying
Christine's Theme, are you kidding?
I saw them too in 1970.
Which version of them? With Parsons and Hillman?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that album was 70, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or 69.
Yeah, they played at the Festival Express too.
lead. I mean, it was Michael Clark wasn't with him at that point. Was
I'm
he?
not sure.
Mm,
I'm not sure.
no,
I don't think any Beatles solo albums as good as Abbey Road. No,
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 I don't think
I don't-
many albums are as good as Abbey Road.
no.
by anybody.
Yeah,
Songwriting there might be, but in terms of a record, no.
Celine Dion early '90s albums on vinyl are expensive. That's funny.
Generally, everything from early '90s on vinyl is very expensive.
Both Flying Green Brother albums with Grant Parsons are very good. Yeah, the first is a classic, and I like the second one. Yeah, they are.
I've got them. I wasn't. They weren't. I liked them, but I wasn't as impressed as I hoped I would be.
Do you guys, you U.S. citizens, shop at Costco?
They're not. There's no Costco near me.
Yeah, same. Sam's Club is what it.
We have Costco.
We have Costco. There's one a block down the street from my house.
I don't have. Mine's in Kingston. The closest one's Kingston, so it's like an hour away from me.
I could stand on my roof and see it.
I've got a
Buy
Walmart
one steps.
from
You own
my
any?
area.
No.
Nope.
I'm not paying $200 for a fucking 45.
Not a chance.
Nuts. No. No way. No way those albums are.
I have thoughts about audiophile stuff, not the people, but the
Well,
the
some of them
concept.
sound amazing, but they don't sound that much better if you have a good original pressing of an album that I need to spend $200 versus 40.
Yeah.
So I've got the Bob Dylan mono set. One year I think it was for my birthday or whatever, I treated myself. Maybe when I can't remember. I bought Blonde on Blonde, the MoFi set for Blonde on Blonde. It was on 45 RPM. It was 3 records. And I listened to it and said, this sounds amazing. It sounded great. But then I put on my regular Blonde on Blonde albums, and they sound really good. Maybe they're not as fantastic, but to have $200 tied up on a shelf for something that just sounds this much better is,
with no extras.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. They have, you can get the blues night, the rock night, and the orchestral night on 2 CD sets. Yeah. I'm going to buy some of that anyway. What band improved after they got a new singer? Faith No More. When Mike Patton joined, they started making truly special music. Such a great band, America's finest export ever. Wow. I don't think I could name a Faith No More song. You guys?
No.
I don't even know what kind of music that is or what era that is.
A band that got better with a new singer. I mean,
Definitely not Van Halen.
You know, I'm a Sammy Hagar fan when it comes to band.
Wow.
I'm not a big Van Halen fan in the first place, but I like the Sammy Hagar stuff better than the David Lee Roth stuff.
well, I mean, obviously, ELO, because I mean they had Roy Wood for so long on like that first album.
Wow, I'm trying to think what band might have been.
I mean, you could always look at Fleetwood Mac. Obviously, changed a few times, and AC/DC.
Nor yes. I don't like it.
Oh man,
I mean, the one that pops into mind is AC/DC. They were commercially more successful, but I think Bon Scott was a better singer.
yeah, ACD's an interesting one. That's a tough question.
That's a tough question.
Oh, did that one already. Sound Lab Studios is here with us.
Howdy, howdy.
Band on the Run is a great album, definitely better than Beatles for Sale. Yeah, I think Bam. Yeah, I think Band on the Run would be better than Please Please Me.
It's better than Please Please Me.
And about even with Beatles for Sale.
I mean, Band on the Run is better from the standpoint that it's originals, whereas Beatles for Sale has a lot of covers. I'm one of those few people that absolutely loves Beatles for Sale.
I love Beatles.
Yeah, I
for
like
Sale
it too.
Yeah.
It's just got kind of a mood to it that's a little different than the rest of them.
I have it ranked right in the middle for all of them for me.
I would rank it more obviously over Yellow Submarine. And I don't know.
I can't remember where I ranked it.
They say Kansas City, so that's pretty cool.
Kansas City's a great cover. Kiss solo album's better than anything. I'm not a Kiss. That's just out of my wheelhouse. I don't want to slam Kiss, but it's just
I don't know
my age group, and I'm just not.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Yes, Electric Ladyland, one of the rocks. But yeah, great headphone album.
Yep.
I never did.
Martin Barr from Jethro Tull. Yes, fantastic guitar player. Any thoughts on the Eagles? Rob might have some.
We were just
Oh,
talking about
I could talk for 3 hours about the Eagles. I'm going through their discography. Hotel California. Yeah, it is. I don't listen to Hotel California that much because I'm kind of tired of it. But I mean, the Eagles are interesting because there's sort of, it was such an evolving lineup that there's your early,
Well, it's kind of like one of these nights back, and then Hotel
Right.
California forward, kind of.
so you've got the early one where you've got Meisner and Bernie Leadon, and Leadon was a country guy, so it skews heavily country. And then when Walsh came in and then Felder came in, they went in more of a rock direction. Yeah, I like all of them, and they've got some good live albums too. Yeah, it's. I've seen the Eagles; they were incredible live. And my favorite Eagles album. I mean, I ranked all their albums, including their live albums, in a video last year, but that changes on maybe a monthly basis. The only one that consistently ranks low for me, and I know Glenn would agree, is Long Road Out of Eden.
Yeah.
I like the album, but the problem for me is that's a really bloated album. It's a double. It should have been a single. Had it been a single, I think it would have been pretty good. But I sort of, that one's sort of towards the end. But I always gravitate towards The Long Run. I love that one, and I love the first album. The first album's incredible. Desperado is great.
Desperado and On the Border for me. They're the two that if I'm pulling on those albums, those two.
Yeah. I could talk forever about the Eagles.
I was a big Joe Walsh fan from James Gang.
Me too.
And solo stuff. Then he joined the Eagles. His solo career went, like, he never put out a good album after he joined the Eagles.
No.
And the Eagles never put out an album as good as the previous ones when Joe was there. So
he's back touring with James Gang, eh?
Yeah, they did a couple of shows or something.
Yeah, I would have loved to
money or something. I don't know if it's a tour, but I think they got together for
a few shows.
Yeah.
I love Funk 49. What a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Walsh is my guitar hero.
One of the great albums of all time.
Seeing him play, for me, was like a religious experience.
Yeah, he's great. And he steals the Eagles shows when he's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lightfoot was the first to play. Yes, he was.
Yes.
They were closed. It was closed for about a year or 2 years.
2 years.
Clear Light.
He has played the second most number of shows at Massey Hall.
What's that?
He's the artist that has played the second most number of shows at Massey Hall.
Now I got to guess who's played the most?
Yeah.
Neil Young.
Nope.
No, Neil Young.
Blue Rodeo.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Blue Rodeo. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. My daughter just bought Blue Rodeo tickets for Budweiser in August.
Nice. They never disappoint.
No,
ever.
They don't. They're always great.
I have seen them
needs to listen
48 times. And they've been incredible every time.
Yeah, that's a great song. Just want to talk to you. Yeah, it's a great song. Do you think if the Beatles didn't break up, they could top Abbey Road? No.
Nope.
No.
I'm kind of glad they broke up.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
and here's the reason. I mean, they were lightning in a bottle, and you could only keep up the momentum of what they were doing, and so you could only sustain that creativity for so long that I think it would start to go downhill from there and tarnish the legacy almost. Like they are as awesome as they are because of what they did in that very short period of time, and then doom, done.
So they're in a time capsule and it's timeless and it stopped. It's like it's same with it's like Marilyn Monroe dying young age. You just see you don't see old Marilyn. You just for 1,000 years Marilyn Monroe looked the same.
Yep.
James Dean.
Yep.
The Beatles are like that musically.
Yeah.
Because the thing with the Beatles is you never even saw a picture of them all four together in the 70s. You know, so it's like you will only ever think of them as the Abbey Road Beatles. Like that's as old as they got.
Yeah.
Well, as a sort of similar point of comparison, you look at the Rolling Stones, who obviously contemporaries of the Beatles, continued on to this day. They're still going. While they're great, they've also put out a lot of shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the Beatles would have gone down that same path because
They
there's
would have
no
definitely
way
gone down
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, I was talking with my friend Tommy again today, and we were saying that, again, had things occurred where John obviously, survived and everything, I think we would have seen the Beatles work together again.
I
Had
think
they-
they probably would have been done Live Aid or something like that.
I think they would have gotten back together again. Like,
for something. Yeah.
Switching gears slightly, have you heard the rumors? Sam's maybe the only one that cares, but there's rumors that they've actually booked the Oasis reunion gigs for 2025.
I just saw that Noel Gallagher was like crapping
He's
all
open
over
to
Liam.
it. He's well. Noel said in an interview, because he said
Liam doesn't pick up the phone.
he just put out his new solo album, which I'll talk about at some point. But he said, I'm open to it. Liam's just got to give me a call. So the rumor is it might be happening.
Wow. They must be running out of money.
Liam has a new another live album coming out.
Another one.
Yeah, from Nebworth.
I'd probably buy that because I love the Live on the River Thames.
I just
and
listened to it the other day. Yeah.
The Unplugged was incredible, and
Yeah.
Why Me and Why Not was incredible.
Yeah.
Have you listened to Noel's new album yet?
No, just the first single. I haven't listened to any of it.
Council Skies. Got rave reviews, and several of the reviews I read were like, it's Noel's best album since Oasis.
Uh-huh.
No. It's fine. Whatever that one lead single was, the video with the girl in the park,
It doesn't
or
match
whatever,
everything else.
is fantastic.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that sounds very Oasis. The rest of the album is not like that. It's just
Noel Gallagher. Yeah.
It's Noel Gallagher. It's boring. Boring. Yeah.
It's almost like synth pop or something.
No, it's not. That's where he was going with Chasing the Moon. This is back to instruments, and there's none of the synth stuff. I just find it's boring. There's no energy to the album at all.
That's good to know because I almost ordered it because of that one single, but
Yeah. Maybe stream it first. I loved the single, which is why I bought the album, because I didn't buy Chasing the Moon because I didn't like the way he was going. But then when I heard this and I read the reviews, I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy it. And yeah.
Okay, that's
Not
good.
thrilled.
That's good news. Well, good information anyway.
Yeah.
My man. Yeah, I didn't know that was about Graham Parsons.
Yep.
As far as best old British comedies, On the Buses, oh yeah, great show. Man, that was fun. Final 3-0, good. We let
No, it's 3-1.
Yeah.
3-1.
Robin Trower.
Romano almost blew it.
Yeah, Robin Trower, great guitar. I mean, if you like Hendrix, you'll love Robin Trower. And his work in Purple Harems. Incredible.
There
I
you
don't
go.
think he ever got better with anyone, so I'm not a Journey fan. Sorry.
Yeah, same.
You can't argue. Even though Greg Rowley is a great singer.
Yeah, Van Hager is underloved. Yeah, I like those the Van Hager stuff. Some people like the Fishless. Yeah, I was going to mention that's one that probably would have got mentioned is with the new singer. I like Black Sabbath better than Zeppelin. I don't, but hey, I understand why people would if you're into it. Faith No More blend metal with literally dozens of other genres. Very unique sound. I highly recommend you check out Angel Dust and King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, and The Real Thing.
Weren't they like late 90s, something like that?
Wow, saw the Eagles with Linda Ronstadt. Holy crap.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be a dream show for me.
My favorite Eagles lineup is the one on Hotel California.
I never liked Tim Schmidt. His voice.
Yeah.
It was too sweet.
Randy Meisner was a much better singer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Randy Meisner was an incredible singer.
And if you listen to Timothy Schmidt's like solo stuff, it's so like same. It's just
both. It's funny because Meisner, before the Eagles, was in Poco, and then when he left the Eagles, they replaced him with Tim Schmidt from Poco, who replaced Meisner in Poco.
Yeah, that was very incestuous. Those bands. So the Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, Poco, and America, Great Night. Wow, that's a Southern California sound.
That's a Rich Strickler dream show right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
I couldn't imagine Linda Ronstadt with the Eagles. That would just blow my mind. She's my favorite female singer.
Long Run, it's a good album.
I love it.
It followed Hotel California, right?
No, it was the last one before the breakup.
What followed Hotel California?
One of these nights, right?
No, before.
No, that was before. Hold on.
I thought it was Long Run. What am I missing?
I think it is Long Run because that's when because Felder was
I'm
fired.
pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then they
That's
broke up.
That's why it didn't get the love.
Yeah, because it was following their master.
Yeah, you can't. It's like Tusk with Rumors. There's no way, no matter how good Tusk is, it's not going to get the love that Rumors.
Joe Walsh.
Yeah, Samoa Joe. It's another wrestling reference. Faulty Towers was a great show. John Cleese only made 8 episodes. Police are the same as the Beatles. Put well on top. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Solid, freaking great records. Stones never topped it. Aftermath. I don't know.
Sticky Fingers is my favorite by far.
I think they came into their. I mean, I love the early Stones, but I mean, come on, from Beggar's Banquet on to
Jimmy Miller.
Exile is just.
That's when they were muddy and
mind blowing good.
Yeah.
If Zeppelin only made the first album, do you think they would have carried the mystique of greatest one album wonder?
Kind of like
it's a great debut album, so I think it would still be a great album, even if they never made another one.
Yeah.
Oasis, who needs it? Well, Dan doesn't.
Sam and I do.
Damn.
Me. How about you each pick one Doors album?
LA Woman.
I like the Windows better.
I really like LA Woman too. I've been listening to that a lot recently. It's a great record. But they
can't believe you don't like La America.
But I don't like La America, that song. Yeah. I really like the second album with When the Music's Over on it and that. I think that's a great second album.
I've never listened to a Doors record.
Well,
you don't like the Doors either?
I've listened to Doors records, but I'm just not a fan.
Oh, wow. Poco until Tim left was really consistent. They were. The
I
album
should say
Poco, which was their second album, has a song on the second side. It's like 20 minutes long. It's so good. Presley or Costello? Pick one.
Presley.
I'm going Elvis Costello every time.
You can be wrong. That's okay.
Yeah. What would be your all-star band? Let's make a 4-piece band.
we did a video about that once.
We
did a long time. A live stream back in the beginning.
I'm going to contradict myself because I can't think of it.
Yeah, I can't.
Give me a minute here.
Jack, you do it. We've already done it.
Yeah, Jack.
I don't even know what that means.
All-star band. Pick your drummer, your bass player, your guitar player, and your singer.
Make like your dream Led Zeppelin. Like picture Led Zeppelin and make that band.
Who's your guitarist in your band? You get to pick anybody in the world for a guitar player, and you're managing the band. Who is it?
Probably Eric Clapton.
Okay. Who's your singer?
Ooh. It's between John Paul and Robert Plant.
Ooh. Robert Plant and Clapton. Be interesting. Bass
Yeah, you're
player.
right. Yeah.
They'd work with the blues well. They do the blues well.
I don't even know any bass players.
Oh yeah, you do.
Well, you can put McCartney.
Okay, there you
McCartney,
go. Yeah.
Sting,
Okay.
John Entwistle.
What about drummer?
Phil Collins. There you go.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, Phil Collins was used to playing with Clapton. So.
Phil Collins
and he played with Robert
and
Plant.
Plant. Yeah, the Zeppelin reunion.
I got mine right here. Levon Helm on drums. Tom Petty's my singer. Joe Walsh is my guitar player, and John McVie's my bass player.
That would be a cool band.
Wouldn't it, though?
I
That'd be
think
cool.
so.
Their music would all work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work really good.
It'd be tough having Tom Petty is your singer, though, when you've got Levon Helm back there, one of the greatest singers ever,
I
laying
think
it down.
their voices would blend pretty cool, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Because they're, I mean, he's from Arkansas, Petty's from Florida. I mean, they're
Yeah.
the same.
I
Right.
think that would work good. Simon Garfunkel also left being on top. Yeah. Well, then they split up, and Garfunkel, I mean, he had a bit of a career.
Yeah, he was an actor for a little bit.
Paul kind of lost it for a while. Like, people weren't buying his albums. It's funny. I'm reading a book on Joe Strummer, and there's when he left the Clash, his career just kind of went downhill, and then nobody paid attention to his solo stuff really until after he died. And he said he had a conversation with Paul Simon, and when he was frustrated because no one was really paying attention to his solo stuff, Paul Simon said, until I put out Graceland, no one gave a crap about me for a few years.
Well, I know, like Hearts and Bones, which came just before it, was a
failure. But like One Trick Pony and Hearts, all those, they didn't sell well.
The late 70s and early 80s, Paul Simon, which was the case for all those 60s guys.
Yeah.
The early 80s was killer on all of them. Dylan, Springsteen.
It's Only Rock and Roll. I think it's a great Stones album. 2 Poco live albums are great. I've never heard the Poco live albums. I would like to hear those. Okay, Sam, listen to the Doors. Do Gloria live. It's incredible.
But is it a 15-minute long song?
Well, you just went to see Dead and Company. How can you sit here and say you don't like 15-minute songs?
I didn't say I enjoyed every song that they did. Drums in Space could take a hike, but
you told me. Oh yeah, did they do that?
Yeah, they do it every show.
Oh, I can't.
But he also they did Dear Prudence, which was cool.
I would have went and got a hot dog when they were playing that.
A lot of people did, or the guy behind me just spilt beer in my shoe, and I gave him a look. But
okay, you didn't drink the beer?
There was a lot of beer on the floor. No, I had to drive 3 hours home.
All-star band: Freddie Mercury, John Entwistle, Eddie Van Halen, and John Bonham. Now there's a band.
The two Johns of Freddie and Eddie.
Imagine if the supergroup Dirty Mac made an album. Yeah. Phil Collins can play with anyone. Yeah, Phil Collins is a great musician. Joe Walsh, but seriously, folks, is one of my favorite. Yeah, those Joe Walsh albums are great. The few in a row there that he. Still Crazy After Those was Simon's best album. I'm a big fan of that album as well. Joe Strummer has a solo song called Mongo Bongo. Hopefully that name isn't a turnoff for you, Glenn. Oh, no. Yeah, because Oingo Boingo. No, I'm a big Joe Strummer fan. The Kinks' 50th anniversary Village Green sounds incredible on CD. I agree. Well, guys, it's 10:02.
Time to depart.
Where'd the time go? Take turns telling us what you're up to.
Jack, you start.
Jack, you go last so you can decide what you want to say.
All right.
Sam, what's going on?
I've got a couple of ideas for videos rolling around my head that I'm going to do. I've got a couple more album reviews that I have kind of in the back burner after I just kind of took a little bit of time off from doing regular content. I was still putting it out there, but I just did a video with Brian Massey. Well, I did it last week, but he just posted it today, where we broke down Ummagumma by Pink Floyd for his series. Was this album really that bad? And me and him both gave our thoughts on that. It's over on his channel. I've got it on my community page, so check that out. It was a really fun time. Yeah, so I've got a few things coming. Like I said, I just did a review on this album by Marty Stewart. Fantastic album. Check it out.
Great record.
And yeah, I'm just chugging along.
Awesome. Rob?
Let's see. Last week I did the videos on my channel, but I did an episode for the Vinyl Community Podcasts where myself and Brian from Remember Attic Robot and Chris Profi, we talked about the legacy of Gordon Lightfoot. So you can either watch the video or you can download the podcast. And I just did another video a few days ago with Mike from MGK Boston, kind of a follow-up to the White Horse concert we were at. And I'm about to shoot
I watched that. That was cool.
Thanks. I'm about to shoot my Fleetwood Mac alternate collection video, and I still got to do the video where I show the Grail that I picked up recently. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Work is so insanely busy right now. I haven't had a lot of YouTube time lately. So,
Jack, what's going on your channel? You got any videos coming up that we want to see?
Yeah, I want to rank the Led Zeppelin albums.
Oh,
We'll do
that's
a video of
cool.
that. Yeah.
Awesome. I'd be interested in seeing that.
That I just do bunch of random stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
Showing
cool.
music.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know what I'm up to. Like I said, I want to do a birthday celebration. I'm going to be turning 70 on the 23rd. Maybe next Wednesday we'll have a birthday party. And then, yeah, I don't know what else coming up. I'm sure I'll get a few records for my birthday that I'll be showing. And that's it. Hope everyone subscribes to Jack the Music Guy, Sam St. John, Northern Revolutions. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll just do the last couple of Howie Meeker reading the telestrator wasn't this. Golly gee. Glenn, do a vlog on family. Your subs will increase. LOL. Yeah, man, I always get bugged to listen to that thing and I still never listen to them. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Good to be back.
Talk soon. Take care.
See you guys next week.